And we're back again. I knew there would be so much I missed on the last video. So, something that's sort of come apparent is a thing that's often sort of pointed to when people say it's not about the numbers. And I'm referring to subscriber numbers here. No, it's not about the numbers. It's about the nature, the pattern that is revealed in the numbers. So I'll give you an example. I upload a video and generally with each new video I lose two or three subscribers. Then I might gain one the next day and then gain another two, and it does this sort of like yo-yo, plus or minus one or two for several days, and then it'll progressively just keep climbing and climbing. But there's a script being presented there. Now, am I to be all negative and blame it on YouTube doing manipulating figures and things? Is it people genuinely unsubscribing? Because let's face it, whatever perspective and things you talk about, it's not going to suit everybody. And if they're triggered by something in a video you say, then yeah, you probably will lose a couple of subscribers. That seems logical. But am I supposed to feel angry and negative or whatever from that? Well, I don't. Because I look at the nature, the pattern that is being presented from that. So basically what you've got an upward progression, and it's also doing like a sine wave. It's sort of up and down, and it's like, oh, doesn't the sun and the moon and everything else seem to do that? The heart monitor, the pulse of life, as it were, it's just a sort of expression. So you can see the negative polarity with that. You can also see the egoic about I've achieved X number of subscribers. That is irrelevant. It's the pattern in the way the numbers are going is the thing to look for. It's quite amusing to actually watch because you see the thing replicated everywhere else. It's just another way. If you've got a YouTube channel, I actually messaged Julia about this. I said, have you noticed this pattern? And she said, yeah, another one. Other people she's spoken to have also mentioned this as well. This little yo-yo thing. It's basically a sine wave. It's a good sign, really, if you think about it. It's just another presentation. But it comes back to being like that, an actor. You use discernment. Is it something that is trying to pull you in that negative polarity? Or is it something that is going to serve you? Is it something that is going to benefit you? Is it going to help you maintain the higher vibration? I'll give you another amazing story. This is something that happened today. It's a true story. I mentioned on the last video I woke up and happened to notice the Gemini full moon, and wow, got to take a photo of that. And then I'm greeted with messages of a child that has been diseased. He's not in a healthy vibration at the moment, which is understandable with everything that's going on. So it's like asking for help. So it's like, yes, sending healing to the people concerned, the guardian and the recipient that has been deceased, and obviously the knock-on effect from the energy vibration, because it does affect those around you with your vibration. That was mirrored. And it's like, well, that's opened up something. If we're on the same frequency and vibration and we can mirror events in our day, where else can we go with that when we have the power to create and we're on the same vibrations? To me, this is saying that we can actually manifest our own day and on behalf of others And if you're on the same frequency, then the energy therefore must be stronger. And I feel that was a proof that was shown. I'll give you another little analogy, another story. I'll give you a story. This is an amusing story. What you're observing is a child running round with a metal waste paper bin on his head, going round in a circle, anti-clockwise, I think, or was it clockwise? Probably both. And then being told off for doing it. But really, could you expect a 5-year-old to say, well, all I'm doing is I'm reflecting this reality. We've gone on a family holiday. We're in a tower block. We're not even in contact with Earth. We're out of touch with nature. Now you're going to all have this family gathering. You're going to sit round and be entertained by this little screen in the corner of the room. And you wonder what I'm doing, and I'm running around with a bucket on my head because I'm reflecting the external world as of you lot are crazy, you're running around like headless chickens, you don't know what you're doing. But could you really expect a 5-year-old to express it as words? Because a child learns by observation and then imitation, like learning to walk. So the child will express physically what is being presented to it. Now, how do I know this? Because that child was me. So that came back today in the head, clear as anything. I could even probably go back and count the white tiles and the black tiles in the kitchen, and describe really fine details of that event. But imagine it in the position of a child. It's like your family home has got a garden and there's parks and things, and you can go outside. Now you're on holiday and you're confined to a tower block. You're now in a single sort of living room and dining room with lots of adults. It's something that you're not used to. So how would a 5-year-old or 4-year-old respond to that, really? In expression, I would have thought. It wouldn't be in words, or not. But I mean, how could a child express that in words at that age? So that's why a child would do that. It's not with any evil intent. It's just a reflection of expression of what is being presented to that child. And I'm talking from experience with that one. Oh boy, it's amazing. See, this Gemini full moon, it just brings these things back. How far are we up to? Nearly 8 minutes. Was there anything else? Yes, also consider this thing about put yourself in someone else's shoes. So when you're presented with these reflections, think that how those reflections, how they're interacting with their reflections, and then you wonder why some of these things are the way they are and the way they're presented, because pretty much everybody is running around with that bucket on their head in circles, not knowing what they're doing. And was it Lana puts it as a bunch of monkeys throwing their shit at each other, which is pretty much what this reality can look like at times. It's but oh boy, what an amazing day. So that's just a little quick follow-up video, and amazing to get a parallel reflection in real time. The start of the day sort of starts with needing to go to the bathroom, seeing the full moon, taking a photograph of it, then getting a call for help with a child with healing and looking after and things, and that being mirrored. I mean, that is amazing in itself. But keep in mind all these things that are presented to you. So like the sine wave, how many times is that shown? And the good times, the bad times, and then obviously the regularity of it can be, you can start to see the patterns. And think of the sun and the moon is basically like an hour hand and a minute hand if you were looking at a clock face, and how time governs this reality, as it were, because it's all determined by what is morning, by sunlight hours and so on, and it's just a measurement, a perceived measurement of a time frame. but it's far more than that, and it is about seeing the beauty in the timing and what is presented, what is reflected, and even what comes back as a crystal clear memory, and what's at that age you're expressing but couldn't put into words. I find that beautiful, that the way this all comes about. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's given you a chuckle, raised your vibration. So love to you all, and until next time.